Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Jay here. Thanks for tuning into my channel. If you've been here before, you know I cover all kinds of random things like music, technology, reviews of different companies, and experiences I've had with them, like customer service and just or bad service. Sometimes I'll do music videos, a couple music videos from my Visions of Reality project. But this one here is about technology and about something specifically I've been working on. As you can see here on my screen as I'm sharing here, this is my live Coinbase portfolio. This is something that I built entirely using ChatGPT. I have very little programming experience. I know a little bit of it. I messed around with it in college, and I work with XML in my day job, um, which is a custom proprietary language that our company has designed that's more or less works with kind of like SQL logic, a little bit of JavaScript logic. Basically, it's for creating custom reports for customers based off of data they entered in forms. So that's really what I know enough about SQL to be dangerous, um, but really I don't really know much about programming. And but I do know what I want. I do know what to look for. And this all started a few months ago when, uh, or maybe a couple months ago, when I asked ChatGPT, "Hey, how do I open my garage door?" by saying, "Hey Siri," and it sent me down this rabbit hole, which I do have. The previous video on my channel goes through that whole project that got spawned from that one question, which ultimately didn't even uh, result in me being able to open my garage door with Siri. But I got a bunch of other things um, which I bought a thin client, which you can probably see if I get the napkins out of the way over here. And the thin client is a low power mini PC that I use for hosting my web server, which this is on. Petrified.net is my personal site, and I have an about me section and music, which is different things I've recorded. Link to my Faith Evolved channel, some pictures. So I was able to design this with ChatGPT as well. But what I'm here to talk about today is this. This is really really cool because I didn't want to pay for TradingView. I didn't want to pay for Coinbase One. I just wanted to get some easy alerts and just a quick glance at my uh, portfolio with Coinbase. It started when a few years back, and I've had Bitcoin before. I've had Ethereum, but somebody had told me about this project called Pi, and I was mining coins on my phone with it. They referred me, and they got a little bonus or whatever, because I was referred, and I had locked up about 1,000 Pi coins. And finally, they went on the main net a few months ago, and I didn't even know about it. I wish I did because I would have sold it immediately and probably made a decent, you know, profit, probably $1,500 or maybe $2,000. I'm not sure the exact price of it. I mean, I lost out on that, but I'm glad I found out when I did because when I eventually did convert that over to Pionex, it was about 580 something dollars. And then after that, I got DIMO, which is like for your car. You get tracks diagnostic data and usage and stuff like that, and I got a $30 initial value on that. Anyway, it's down obviously a little bit, but um, yeah, this is all from ChatGPT, literally from the ground up. Me just asking, hey, I want to get alerts on things, and I don't want to have to pay for these other programs. I'm sure there's other apps that probably do something similar to this. I don't know if there's anything open source. I didn't even really look. I just said, hey, I want to do something on my own. And it's kind of fun as well when you can kind of do something on your own, and you can literally use ChatGPT to write your own programs. I mean, you could write your own smartphone programs, your own web-based like this one, or even using Python. Create little apps for Windows or Linux. So I was able to set up a web server here on my thin client, and I already had a domain petrified.net, and I just subdomain a bunch of stuff out to it. I got crypto, I got Vault Warden, Portainer, Cockpit, Nginx, DBGate, Uptime Kuma, and all through using Cloudflare to manage my DNS. And I got everything working here. And now the main point of this video is to kind of show you what I was able to build. For anybody out there that has an idea, maybe this will spawn an idea or inspire an idea for you to come up with your own app for whatever purposes you may want. But just to show you what's possible with somebody that has little to no programming experience to basically do whatever you want. I mean, it is, and I'm just absolutely astonished and astounded by how good ChatGPT, especially the 4.0, 4.1, or oh 03 models, how well they work with context. And what's cool is I was using ChatGPT for the longest time, just using the app here. But then I realized you could use Visual Studio Code to literally just, let me move this out of the way real quick, literally just add your files that you're working with and ask it to review the files and update the fix or update the code as necessary. And I've had it, I've had multiple iterations of this because sometimes it'll make mistakes and then but I can always count on it to fix it. There's multiple times I get bad gateway and I say, hey, I'm getting a bad gateway. I show it the logs, you know, hey, this is missing something here, and then I just restart the service and it works. So I can and I always save the configurations that I have into a Notepad plus document with some of the most frequently used commands because it'll help you. Because if you're trying to write something uh, in Python, you're gonna need to ask it to, hey, create some debugging, some logging options as well. And so I can run anytime something breaks. I just run this here. I have another one too that checks the log specific to my app, and it'll tell me what's wrong and offer the correct solution to fix it. And it almost every single time without fail, one maybe two times at the most, of having to have it check to fix things. Sometimes it'll get stuck. It's not perfect, but the fact that I could write an entire program from scratch with nothing, just an idea, is just it's revolutionary. This is 2025. It's a brave new world, folks. So what I did was I said, all right, show me all my coins, and I even said, hey, give me a little graph of the last 7 days as well. Which it's still a work in progress. This is currently not showing the last 7 days, and it could be that. Well, I think the just the bottom dates are wrong because it was working about an hour ago, but I've been messing around with it, and sometimes it breaks stuff. You got to be careful. Make sure you save copies of whatever you're working with because sometimes it'll break stuff and you get to restore it if at some point it can't figure it out. But I got my allocations here. It shows like all the coins I have in my portfolio from Coinbase using an API. So I got my allocations here. Right now, most of my portfolio currently is a chain link, almost 200 USDT worth. And then I have this show the last 7 days, but I can also say show me the last 3 days. And as you can see, my portfolio is getting crushed right now. Bitcoin is crashing. Well, all cryptocurrencies are really crashing right now. Let's see, is Bitcoin crashing? Yeah, I mean it's falling. We're in a downturn right now. Some of these charts need to be I need to fix it. So I'm still fighting with ChatGPT and my Visual Studio Code. But what I got going on here is the coins that I have, and sometimes I'll sell or trade coins so I can hide them by clicking this hide button. But I built in this little thing in here, like if I want to restore something that I bought, it doesn't automatically, just because I synced it, doesn't mean it's going to automatically re-add. So I got to go in here, and maybe I'll fix that. Maybe if I'll have it fixed so it automatically restores coins, which I can probably do if it's worth more than a cent. Hey, look at this one's worth 2 cents. I can probably add that. Why not? 2 more cents in my portfolio. But yeah, I can just hide it if I don't want it. If I don't want to see it, XCN, yeah, don't need that. Just hit hide, but it's still there. And I have a function built in where it checks the last 7 days and a rolling period of the coin's performance. And sometimes if I trade a coin, it doesn't update automatically. So I added this little sync coins to the latest thing. This will pull from the API the last 7 days of any coin I have in my portfolio, whether it's here or whether it's hidden, whether it's on my watch list, whatever the case may be. It'll sync the last 7 days, and remember that because that's going to be crucial coming up in a second. So average entry, what was the price of the coin when I bought it, the initial value when I bought it, the purchase date. I just made a trade recently, as you can see here. Today's May. Well, that should be May 30th. This must be using. I gotta fix that too. It must be using UTC or something probably. Easy fix. Change it to Eastern Daylight Time because that's where I'm at. But it shows the date. that was purchased, the price down alert and price up alert. This is the charm of this little app that I made. The reason why I made it in the first place, because ChatGPT will give you lots of ideas, and you go, oh shoot, that's a good idea. Let's implement that. And it said, do you want to be given an alert on Discord or email or Telegram whenever whenever a coin hits a certain threshold of the percentage deviation from the average entry? And I said, sure, that'll be amazing. So it started off with just percentage. So what this will do is I can add any value here I want, whether it's a percentage or a number. So I have again examples of both of those here. So if the average entry of 1398 drops 10%, I get a Telegram alert. If it rises 10%, I get a Telegram alert. Or I could say, just give me a Telegram alert when this XRP drops below $2. Actually, no, correction. The number sign works off of the current price. So if I'm watching the current price instead of percentage, if I want a hard code, a certain dollar amount or technically USDT amount, I can say give me an alert from Telegram when this drops below 2 or when it goes above 250. The reason for that is I want to know when to sell these coins. All right. So this will give me the alerts so that I can just go in here and click trade. If I want to trade, let's see, this one's doing crap right now. If I wanted to sell it, which I'm not, I'm hodling on this one. I can just click trade. It brings up my Coinbase portfolio or the trade the trade page here, and I can sell it. Let's get rid of it. I'm not gonna do it right now, but it's doing poor, but everything's doing poor right now. So you got to have a little bit of game sense. Do I really want to get rid of this right now when everything's going down? I got rid of a couple of coins that were just like down 20%. I was like, forget this, because this was at $600 just a couple days ago. Yeah, this was like almost $600 a couple days ago. I've lost almost a sixth of my portfolio, and this is wrong because I just did a trade, so I got to fix that. So like I said, there's a few little kinks I got to work out with this, but yeah, this is cool, right? But check this out. I asked ChatGPT to come up with an algorithm that checks the last 7 days of coin performance and gives me a AI generated auto percentage. So in this case, this one, I can ignore this, but this is based off the last 7 days of the coin's performance, which it's just been abysmal. Absolutely abysmal. Really, the last 24 hours have been abysmal. It's dropped precipitously. It's just a really bad time for crypto. And this thing will trigger as soon as this thing drops below 13.49 percent. I know. All right, it's time to seriously consider selling now and stopping the loss. And this is based off of this here is just based off an algorithm, just checking the last 7 days, and it'll change. Like if I want to do, let's see, XRP right now, I could just go auto, and it's gonna come up with a AI generated smart percentage, if you will, of what when I should try to get rid of this coin, when I should offload it. This is just saying consider selling because I recently made a trade, but it needs more. It also, it's not just based off of that. This sentiment is based off of not just the value, but also the news. I said, hey, build in with an API, a news API. Pull the news on this coin as well, and factor that into the sentiment. So maybe this isn't doing too bad right now. It's only down 2.32%, but it's saying I might want to consider selling it because it's falling precipitously, but everything is. So you got to consider that as well. So it's got that. I can sort by current value if I need to as well, so I can see what's doing the best right now, or sorry, what I have the most allocated in right now, which is Chainlink. I can mark favorites if I want to, which this is kind of just it's a nice little feature, but it doesn't really mean anything. It's just a visual. But I could sort by it if I wanted to. Percent change, and profit and loss is obviously self-explanatory. Everything's down across the board right now except USDT, which I don't know why this is. Oh well, it's because it's such a small, 1.0001. That's why it looks like it's a big jump, but it's really not. It's always going to be around a buck. That's the way it's built. Alert. This is what triggers. If I say I don't need an alert, I don't need an alert on USDT. It's always going to be a buck. so I don't even bother triggering that. I can enable and disable alerts here. I always have them on anyways, but it's just cool that I have the option to turn it off and on. News, I can just click on that little button and it pops up. Uh, that ain't right. I gotta fix that. It's bringing up FNSA. It's a glitch there. Um, XRP works as you can see here, and look at everything's just falling off the radar in the past 24 hours. So I'm hodling. I'm hodling, holding on for dear life, as that stands for. If you know that, if you know, you know. You can add notes here and stuff. Um, you know, this sucks because it really does suck right now. What's going on with the crypto market? Trade obviously high. We already know what that does. So that's cool. Then I have my little watch list section down here, which if I don't have the coin right now, I can hide this because I just recently traded for it. But down here it's just going to be, and I'm gonna probably get rid of these two here. The percent and auto percent, because percent of what current price, it's always going to be it's never going to work. But the number, if this drops below 2,500, maybe I'll just, maybe I want to change this to 2,400 because right now it's already at almost down to 25, and I'm not buying anything anytime soon. But if I start seeing some more of these coins crap the bed, then I might trade them for Ethereum. Because Ethereum, it's down too, but it's been up, and it's more stable than some of these other shit coins, for lack of a better term, as they call them. It's an actual term. I don't, I'm not just saying that to be facetious, but shit coins, especially Bonk. I just had Bonk because I was hoping for, I was hoping to buy a meme coin. There's another, shit coin, meme coin, interchangeable. I was hoping that was gonna moonshot, but nope, that didn't happen. So I just ended up dropping that after a 25%, almost 25% reduction. So, so we got that, but this the only difference down here is I have buy, and this says based off the news, should I watch it, should I avoid it, or should I buy it? So those are the action items that'll pop up here. Everything else is pretty much the same. I can add new coins to the watch list if I wanted to. It tells me the current price pulled from Coinbase. Pretty sweet. Anyway, this is all API. Nothing. You know, I don't know. I mean, I work with API once in a while at my job, but I understand JSON and all that stuff, but it just works. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to understand how all the endpoints work. I just tell it what to do. I give it an API key. It does the rest. You know. Let me just refresh this because this portfolio trend was working 2 seconds ago. Let's refresh this here. Here we go. Yeah, so it's crap. It was starting to go up, and then went down. Sometimes I wonder if I missed the boat with crypto, but who knows? I keep seeing people make money, so like I said, I get the sync coins. Then I have this here, this logs, and this is a work in progress still, but it's just a pulling of all the transactions I've had, just so I can have them easily accessible on my computer, but more importantly, or really in the database in my web server. But more importantly was this. This is the work in progress. Was just I need to find a better way to have it track this. The logic is not quite there, but the point was to get all the taxable stuff. So when if I have a massive gain, I have to obviously claim that on my taxes. Um, and I can edit this stuff. I can export it into Excel, re-import it, or I could just, if I really wanted to, just open up my DB gate here, and which I've had to do a few times. I load the database, and let's see, which one do I want to open here? Activities. I can access my database here and manipulate stuff if I need to. Um, Probably not that one, but I've had stuff where I've added coins like pi and it crashes for some reason, so I've had to go in here and manually delete the row. But I can come in here and manually manipulate. This is another database I have too, which has it doesn't show up, but it has my the coin price history, which is when I go to here my portfolio and I click the sync coins, it syncs the last 7 days of coin history. So I have that database too. But for some reason, it's not coming up in the DB gate for whatever reason. So I got to troubleshoot that. But I can access it in Visual Studio with this SQLite plugin there. Um, let's see, go back here. Yeah, that button is not working for some reason. I got to fix it. It used to work, but like I said before, ChatGPT has a history of screwing things up for whatever reason when it makes edits. So you got to be careful. Um, but yeah, like I said, this thing here, this is definitely the most powerful part, and I get the alerts right on my phone or on my computer with Telegram, telling me, a coin is, up or down or whatever. Um, or if my server's down, something happens, I'll get like an error, message like, failed status 502 or it's okay. That usually happens when I'm doing like a restart rather of my service. I'll see that. If I screwed something up after I've updated, something in my backend file, um, it'll it'll give me a Telegram alert. Hey, this is down, but I already know by then because I try to refresh and I'll get bad gateway. But yeah, here's all the code. I'm thinking about updating this once I get it. Once I get all the little glitches worked out of it, all the kinks worked out of it. I'm probably gonna just for future posterity slash anybody else who cares, I'll add this to GitHub so people can take advantage of that. And if you think if it would be nice to have a little system like this, you just got to plug in your API keys for Coinbase and Telegram. Well, Telegram technically I think has is it an API key? It's some kind of key that they need. Um, and then the news one. So there's some keys you got to get, some IDs you got to get, but you could take advantage of this and not have to pay for uh, another app or service or whatever. Or just mess around with it, make it better, maybe add some more features to it. Um, and there'll be a nice little open source in it. Like I said, there might already be one out there. I didn't check to be honest with you, but this was a lot of fun, a lot of frustration too. But it was a lot of fun being able to build my own thing. Like I didn't, didn't cost me anything besides my ChatGPT subscription, which I'm probably gonna, I might even ditch that because here, um, this is only $10 a month, and it's looks right at your code. You don't have to copy and paste code blocks or anything, and it tells you exactly what you need. I'll tell it, with like hardly any context. The only context it has is what our past history of conversation was and the files themselves. And I can just say I want to surgically fix this piece, and it like almost every single time gets it right. And I'm just like blown away by how well it does. I got my back end, my dashboard, which is, I mean, this is like what, almost 1,500 lines. This is almost 2,000 lines for the back end app. So front end, back end, we're talking, almost 4,000 lines of code. Then I got my databases too, where it stores stuff, all the prices, or the coins that I have, and the watch list, the logs, which have all the transactions, the taxable events, and then the history, the last 7 days rolling. I mean, this is, I mean, look at this thing, all from ChatGPT, every single bit of it, and it just works, for the most part. So, anyways, yeah, wish me luck. Maybe the crypto will bounce back, or maybe this is all bust. Who knows? Could be just. I mean, the good thing is I didn't pay a single red cent for this. It was all mined anyways. So whatever happens, happens. So that's it, folks. I hope this has been enlightening, or at least educational, whatever. And one last quick thing, DIMO. I have a referral code I'm going to put in the description. You can sign up and get 30. That's how I got this here. Was signing up. I found a referral code. You get 30 DIMO dollars or whatever you want to call them, DIMO coins. Um, and shockingly, since I got it back on the 26th, it's actually been pretty stable compared to some of the other coins. Maybe because it's actually doing something useful. Like you could earn coins with just by downloading the app and driving your car and setting in diagnostic data, and you get even more by buying the little device that goes into your diagnostic port. So that's pretty cool. 30. If you get it, I got 30, you get 30. It's a win-win. So check that out in the referral link. And otherwise, thanks for watching. God bless.